Welcome back, True Seeker. Sunday, July 21st, 2019. Baseball on the schedule again today. Before we get to today's games, let's start with a little bit of review, go over yesterday's games. So, let me make this smaller here. It's better. The Yankees game was the first game yesterday. They were big favorites. They were one of the games. Let me zoom this in a little bit more here. They were one of the games where the 21 date numerology had a chance to play. The Rockies could have picked up their 21st away win. But we saw Tanaka, if he got the win, he would be 7-5. And he's going to play the Boston Red Sox next. We know how big 85 is with the Boston Red Sox. So if Tanaka won, it would set up the chance at 8-5. He did get the win. The Yankees won 11-5, year of the 115th World Series. It's Hall of Fame induction weekend. There's 2 Yankees in it. I don't think the symbolism's by accident. So the 21 date numerology did play yesterday, but this is one game it didn't play in. And again, we've said this before, with regards to the date numerology, sometimes you also just need to think about, greater narratives going on. You'll notice that more often than not, teams with really good records, when they're up against an opponent who has a chance to beat them with the date numerology, they won't, and that's probably because that team, such as the Yankees, is on a different path that's about finishing out at X amount of wins for the season and perhaps, say, a World Series type season. So, not shocked the Rockies didn't get the date numerology there. Again, they were big underdogs. The Padres and Cubs, we liked the Cubs yesterday. Joe Madden, it was 162 days after his birthday. Baseball equals 162. Major League Baseball equals 162. Baseball's also 54, and the Cubs got their 54th win in the game. Seemed like a nice baseball riddle. It was lesser date numerology of 46 as well. Cubs got their 46th win versus the National League. Chicago 46, Chicago Cubs 46. The Mets looked good to beat the Giants yesterday. We like the Mets to win one game in this series. It looks like this was the game they would win. We looked at the starters for today's games. The Giants have actually switched their starter, but the Mets have kept their guy on the mound, which still looks like he'll probably lose. We'll get to that. But the Mets picked up their 38th win versus the NL, so they're now 38-49. If they lose today, they'll be 38-50. Giants 38, San Francisco 50. And we saw that Samardzija could get his 39th loss with the Giants as well, did he? Yeah, he did. He got his 39th career loss with the Giants, New York's 39. So that was one other thing going for the Mets yesterday. The White Sox did beat the Rays. Giolito, their ace, was on the mound, and his record suggested they could pick up the win. The starter for the Rays, his record was also suggested that they could get a win, so there was conflict. Neither of them got the decision, but the White Sox ended up taking the game in extra innings. So the pitchers told the story that the game could go either way. Tight one, extra innings. The Rays did have a shot at their 73rd win versus the White Sox yesterday, the 21st prime on the 21 date numerology. And again, that prime number relationship and records with date numerology that's been hit and miss. The Blue Jays and the Tigers, talk about if the Blue Jays swept this series, they would get to 39 wins. Tigers is 39. They have a possibility to do that today. So we'll take another look at that. There wasn't a whole lot of information to go off of for that game. The Orioles lost on Saturday, unfortunately. They were big underdogs at home. They had the date numerology going on their side, too. They had quite a few things going on their side, but they lost pretty big, unfortunately. They'd been on a nice win streak on Saturdays. Well, last week they split a doubleheader, but prior to that, they'd been winning on Saturdays. So I guess it was their time to not win one. And that makes me wonder if it could also be an astrology piece, because, again, Orioles equals 93 like Saturn. It's Saturday. Makes me wonder if, the the position of Saturn. I'd have to learn more about astrology. Maybe that has something to do with when the Orioles get on their streaks on Saturdays. But they did have the numbers yesterday, and they still lost. So that was unfortunate. The Phillies and the Pirates. Eflin had a chance to get to 8 and 9. And he's going to face the Atlanta Braves next. Atlanta Braves is 89, so I was leaning that way. I was thinking he was going to win to get to 8 and 9 to face the Braves. We see a lot of pitchers going with the record that corresponds with the opponent, but it wasn't so here. The one thing going against the Phillies yesterday was that they could stay on the 21 away wins on the 21 date, which sets them up today to pick up their 22nd away win on the 22 date. So I guess that was the riddle there. The Indians picked up their 21st home loss on the 21 date. The Indians, they keep having games where the pitcher riddles line up a certain way, but then the game goes the opposite. I'm noticing that with the Indians, but that date numerology was there. So Indians pick up the 21st home loss on the 21 date. The A's and the Twins game, what stood out to me about this was that if Anderson got the loss, let me see if he got the decision. He did not get the decision. So it could still happen to him. If he got the loss, it would have made him 9 and 6, one game away from 9 and 7, where 97 is a big number with the Athletics. But there wasn't a whole lot else to go off of for this game. Barrios' next win is 38. He didn't get that in this game either. No decision. Minnesota's 38. There wasn't a lot for that one. Oakland did become 15 and 3 versus the AL Central, a bit like 153, the 17th triangular, with number 17 on the mound. We talked about that in the live stream. The Rangers and the Astros. Again, Gerardo, you could have made sense out of his record either way for the Rangers. So that made that tough. The Rangers did stay at 22 wins versus the AL West on the 22 date. The Rangers can win one in this series. They'll get to 43 wins. Astros is 43. They picked up their 39th loss versus the AL on the date numerology at 39. So Rangers could also get their 51st win if they won one. Houston Astros 51. The Reds looked good yesterday. The riddle seemed to be about the Reds becoming 4 and 6 versus the Cardinals. Reds equals 46. They also made St. Louis 19 and 19 versus the NL Central. Reds 19. And St. Louis, by losing, stayed on 22 away wins going into the 22 date. The Nationals and the Braves. The Braves picked up their 21st home loss on the 21 date numerology. And did Soroka get a no decision? Let me see about that. Oh, he got a loss, actually. He plays Philadelphia next. Philadelphia is 101. Sanchez became 6 and 6 on the 66 date numerology. But that date numerology was going against the Braves. Remember, Braves equals 22. They could pick up their 22nd loss today on the 22 date. The Brewers and Diamondbacks, things looked better for the Brewers here. They stayed or they picked up their 9th win versus the NL West in their 23rd game, 23 the 9th prime. And I guess that was the primary thing for that one. The Diamondbacks stayed on 21 home wins on the 21 date as well, but picking up that 9th win versus the NL West in the 23rd game versus the NL West is what was making the most sense there for Milwaukee. The Marlins were back-to-back days, lines negative 300-something going against them. And again, we're not seeing teams win very much when they have those kind of lines. The Marlins did have a shot through the numbers, but didn't get it done. Dodgers picked up their 66th win on the 66 date numerology. And the Angels and the Mariners had a shot at their 21st home win and the 21st win in the AL West. So they could have got a double 21 with the W, but they were defeated. The other thing we saw going for the Angels was that if they won 2 in a row, they would stay on 26 away losses through 101 games. Today will be their 101st game. 101 is the 26th prime. Very possible that's what happens today. The Angels would also pick up their 52nd win of the season. Mariners equals 52. So the games where the 21 date numerology didn't come through, Rockies didn't get it, playing one of the best teams in the league. Mariners didn't get it. Again, a team that's squandered a lot of good riddles that they've had this year ever since they got off to their hot start. They were the most numerological team to start the season. And what was the other? There was one other game where the 21 didn't come through, wasn't there? That's right. The Red Sox didn't pick up their 21st away loss. But most of the other places the 21 was, it played. So, okay. And with regards to today's games, date numerology is 67, which is the 19th prime number, 40, and 22. And the 20 path's the strongest. Dodgers would be a team going for their 67th win today. Lesser date numerology is 47. It actually seemed like the lesser date numerology, a lot of the 46s came through yesterday where they could. So lesser date numerology might be in play right now as well. The day plus the month, 28. Today leaves 163 days left in the year, the 38th prime. Yeah, there we go. Get that a little bit bigger. Okay, so we got a call. Caller?
Hey, Seth.
Hey, man.
First of all, I want to wish you a happy birthday.
Thank you.
ESPN, they're playing games on us, on everybody. ESPN, they're messing up. I don't know. I live in New York, a few miles from Yankee Stadium. Currently, there's a heat wave. Check the temperature on the game right there.
72?
Yes, and there's a heat wave.
Right, so it's way hotter than that.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I want to leave you with. So ESPN, they're being funny.
All right. Yeah. All right. Appreciate it, Izzy.
All right. Bye.
Yeah, sometimes those reported temperatures that they put up there are actually clues for the game. I'm not sure how the 72 would fit in here. But in this game, you have Marquez, number 48. He's 34 and 24 for his career, 8 and 5 on the season. No numbers that really jive in a big way. Yankees is 35 if you use the rule with S. So he has a chance to get his 35th win against the Yankees, I suppose. Paxton's 46 and 30, 5 and 4 on the season. Rockies does have Gematria 64. It's the lesser date numerology of 47. If he got his 47th career win and became 6 and 4. It's 149 days after Marquez's birthday. That's the 35th prime. He's going for a 35th win. Paxton, it's 257 days after his birthday. That's the 55th prime. The Yankees are 12 and 9 versus the Rockies and 8 and 2 at home. Colorado equals 83. Yankees are 9 and 5 versus the NL, 7 and 8 versus the American League. The Rockies are 7 and 8 versus the American League. It's a 22 date. All right, I'll do it this way. 79, 22nd prime, 22 date. If the Rockies lost, their record would be 7 and 9, which does look a bit like 79. The Yankees are on 38 home wins right now. Notice their next win is 65. New York Yankees 65. Next home win's 39. New York's 39. They could pick it up today. They're going to go on a road trip, play the Twins, and then the Red Sox. So I'm just wondering if they get that 65th win at home. But there is reason to believe they'd stay on those 38 because we see so many teams get the 38 against Colorado. Rocky schedule. They're at the Nationals tomorrow. So the Yankees are big favorites again. Marquez's alignment is the most interesting thing. Just how it's 149 days after his birthday, the 35th prime. So much worry about the Rockies falling to 7-9 on the 22 date. Okay. Yeah, you can make a little bit of sense of Paxton's record. Rockies is 46 and 64. Paxton didn't win, he'd stay at 46. But Marquez really does have a nice alignment. It's the strongest riddle in the game. So Rockies would be a nice upset play today. Should think about that one. The Red Sox and the Orioles. Orioles have not played well on Sunday. They played well on Saturday, not on Sunday. They got beat good yesterday. It just makes me wonder if maybe this weekend things will be a little bit different. But notice Cashner is pitching against the Orioles. He just got traded over as Baltimore's best pitcher to the Red Sox. Now he's facing his team, which is interesting. This Juan Sikowski, he's 0-3. Remember, Baltimore equals 41. 13th prime. They upset the Red Sox. Boston's next loss versus the American League is 41. Baltimore's 41. And if the Orioles could win one, they'd get to 31 wins here. Boston's 31. So I just know that we've paid attention to how when the Orioles have riddles on Sunday, they seem to lose anyway, but they've been playing well on Saturday, and that didn't come through. So again, I'm just thinking, Cashner did not make a good debut with the Red Sox. I'm wondering what he's going to do against his old team now. So you know what else I just thought about, actually? I see a big one up there with him. Baltimore equals 95. Cashner could become 9-5 on the season with a loss, facing his old team. It's just the thing. They have not played well on Sunday. So it's there in the numbers. Really wish the Orioles would have won yesterday. It would make this a lot easier, but Cashner being 9-5 versus old team would have some rhyme and reason to it. The White Sox and the Rays. So the White Sox were able to eclipse the 44 or the 43rd win. Tampa Bay Rays, if you use the rule for S, is 52. White Sox next loss is 52. So I think that's probably coming. Snell can get to 6-7 on the 67 date. The Rays' next win at home is 39. White Sox is 39. I had a chance for that yesterday on the 39 date numerology. The Rays are 3-2 versus the White Sox this year. So if they win, they'll be 4-2. White Sox is 42. The White Sox can get their 47th loss versus the AL. Tampa Bay's 47. This is the most concerning thing for Tampa Bay today, that they could get their 42nd loss versus the AL as well, but they can also get their 48th win. White Sox is 42 and 48. So I think more stacks against the White Sox. I like the Rays in this one. The Royals and the Indians. Indians do have a shot at picking up their 22nd loss on the 22 date, just like how they picked up their 21st loss on the 21 date yesterday. Indians also have a shot at their 32nd win. Kansas City's 32. So that's the conflict there. Cleveland Indians is 67, like the date numerology. If the Indians lost today, they'd be 3-3 at home versus the Royals. Cleveland's 33. That's one other thing that could go against them. Plesac with a loss would also be 3-4. Indians is 34. Well, I got to use the rule with S too. Indians is 34 and more pure. If you use the rule for S, it is 43 as well. Only problem is, oh, actually, there was something I was overlooking. Cleveland's 48 as well. If Sparkman won, he'd be 4-8 for his career. Indians are pretty big favorites at home today, but the Royals do have the date numerology going for them. You can make sense of the pitchers either way, I suppose. And for whatever reason, the pitchers have been not good variables in the recent Indians series. So that's the other thing to keep in mind. But so the primary question is, does Indians get the 32nd win, Kansas City 32, or do they pick up the 22nd home loss on the 22 date? They did pick up the 21st yesterday on the 21 date. Let me go back to the AL Central stats real quick. Cleveland could get its 19th loss against the Central as well, 67 date, 19th prime. And Kansas City can get their 22nd win versus the AL Central. Okay. So the Central records go in favor of Kansas City too. They'd be a nice upset today. I should also mention that if Sparkman lost, he would be 3-6. Royals is 36. The date numerology points in Kansas City's favor in 3 ways, though. That's nice for them. So the upset's definitely not out of the question. Okay. Let me come back and actually check the White Sox and Rays, make sure I didn't miss something. I covered that. Okay, we covered all that. All right, Blue Jays and Tigers. If the Blue Jays swept, remember Blue Jays equals 23 like sweep. They don't normally do the sweeping though. But if the Blue Jays swept, they would get their 39th win today. And Tigers is 39. You got 2 pitchers who have hardly any experience. Montoyo, the manager of the Blue Jays, it's 277 days after his birthday, the 59th prime. Toronto Blue Jays is 59. The Blue Jays are also 36 and 51 versus the American League. So if they won, they'd get their 37th win as well. Detroit's 37. The Blue Jays could get their 21st away win on the 21st of the month. The one concern for the Blue Jays is their next loss is 33. Tigers and Sundays 33. So Sunday's the day streaks do break. Let me double check who the Blue Jays play next. They got Cleveland next. So if the Blue Jays didn't lose, they could pick up their 33rd loss against Cleveland, or they can go in there. That was away, right? Oh, never mind. That's at home. That's at home. It's not going to show up. Take it back. Cleveland. Tigers. Tigers are at home versus the Phillies next. So if the Tigers didn't lose, they would Philadelphia would come into town and they'd still be on 65 losses. Yeah, it's probably not a safe pick. The Cardinals and the Reds, Flaherty. He's the Cardinals pitcher. What could go against him is his season record. If he lost, he'd be 4-7. St. Louis is 47. Ohio's 47. Dave Sclafani, nothing really jumps out about his record. The manager for the Cardinals, if he gets one more win, he'd be at 92 career wins. Cincinnati Reds equals 92. Be a good team to get it against. The Reds are 4-6 versus the Cardinals this year, 2-3 at home. If they lost, they'd be 4-7. St. Louis is 47. Ohio's 47. The Reds, if they did not win anymore, they'd stay at 25 home wins. St. Louis is 25. And if the Cardinals can win one more, they'd get to 51 wins. Cincinnati's 51. So, hold on, we got a caller here. Caller?
Hey, what's up, Zach?
What's up?
What's going on? I was wondering, happy birthday, first of all.
Thanks,
I got
man.
the same birthday as you.
Happy birthday to you, then.
It's kind of weird, man. But anyways, you think you could do gematria on the umpires?
I don't normally look at the umpires, but what we noticed earlier this year is we noticed that there's certain umpires in the league. There's a website that tracks the over and under for games that umpires work, and there's some umpires that have really disproportionate stats with overs and unders. Like, for example, we looked at some of them. They have overs, like their games hit the over 80% of the time, so 8 out of 10 times. So that'd probably be a good thing to track with umpires, and I'm not sure that they're probably.
I really think you should try it. I mean, I read it in a book about sports betting a while back. Where they were saying some of the you just gotta check the umpires.
Okay.
And the refs and stuff.
Well, sure. I know. I know that the refs definitely have an impact. We've done that in other sports. The thing is, there's not a lot of data for there's data for some games what umpire is going to be there, but a lot of them they don't have the information, especially at this time of day. So
yeah. They put them out late for MLB, but football, they got a whole website dedicated to
right. It's easy for football.
Umpires.
Yeah, it's very easy for football.
All right, now I was just gonna request that. See if you can do that. I'm pretty sure we code a lot of stuff to do the umpires. I know that have a lot to do. The games, they have a lot to do with the refs. Like they call a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you're right. You are right.
The missed calls, and they call fouls for no reason. I seen the Kevin Durant play where like he's out of bounds and they don't call. Right. Yeah, it is
all right, crazy. Man. All right, appreciate it.
You can do that. I appreciate it.
All right, yeah. So it's been a minute since we looked at this, but let me see if I can pull up daily MLB umpire assignments. The information will be there for some games, but well, it looks like today they actually got it filled in. Maybe because a lot of the games are earlier today. But like some days will look like when all the 4 o'clock starts, and there'll just be like a few games that have it filled in. So here, I'll do it real quick just for kicks, see what comes up here. So this guy, 57, 87. So his name's like New York, 111, 39, New York numbers. That's the Yankees. Yankees could get their 39th home win. Here, I'll just make a point. Yankees can get their 39th home win with the umpire with number 39 behind the plate. Let's see. All right, here, Boston, Baltimore umpire. Let's see. John Leaka. He's one off the mark. Caller? Hello? If you can hear me, call back because I can't hear you. Okay, what was his last name? Leaka 35. I don't see exactly how he fits in. Let's see here. Chad Fairchild for the Kansas City Cleveland game. Caller?
Hey, Zach.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, man. You're the man.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Working on your birthday, man. That's what Zach does, man. Hey, but I got the rundown for the umpires, and they actually have the wins and loss records too. There's about 90-something umpires in the MLB, and they never released the umpires on the first day of the series.
Right. We've looked at this in the past, and a lot of times, like, there'll just be a few umpires for like 12 different games shown. But I'm thinking this is the first time I've ever actually loaded up, and they're all there. So I'm thinking it's because all the games are early today. So.
Yeah. All right. So for the Phillies and Pirates, they have Ben May behind the plate. He's 5-1 to the home money line record, and he's 1-4 to the under.
Huh.
Chicago White Sox and Tampa Bay, they have DJ Rayburn. He's 8-9 in the home money line record, and he's 7-9 in the under.
Okay.
Texas Houston, we've got Chris Gucci 1. He's 11-10 in the home money line record and 12-8 in the under.
Right.
We have A's and Twins. We have Ryan Addington. He's 3-4 to the home money line record, and he's 4-3 to the under.
Okay, so he's pretty even.
Mets and Giants. We have Mark Ripperger. He's 9-8 to the home money line, 6-11 to the under. Brewers, Diamondbacks. We've got Jim Wolf. He's 8-10, 7-10 in the under. Dodgers, Marlins. We got Mark Wegner. He's 6-11, 9-8 in the under. Braves, Nats. We got Rob Drake, 7-11 to the home money line, 11-6 to the under. Yankees, Rockies, 6-9, 8-5 to the under.
What's he 6-9 with?
The home money line. The first one I'm saying is the home money line.
Okay.
Red Sox, Orioles. We got John Lipka. He's 7-4 to the home, 4-6 to the under. Royals, Indians. Chad Fairchild. He's 12-5 to the home money line, and he's 9-7 to the under.
Okay, so Cleveland's at home.
Cardinals, Reds. We got Ed Hickox. He's 9-7 to the home money line and 8-9 to the under.
What site are you using to look at all this?
Brandon Miller. He's 2-4 to the home money line, 2-4 to the under.
What site are you using to look at all this?
I'm using a paid app.
Okay.
Cubs, Padres. Chad Whitson. He's 10-8 and 7-11 in the under. And the last game, we got Angels and Mariners. Marvin Hudson, 9-9, 6-12 to the under. And Seattle overs have been booming. Seattle overs, when you bet them against right-hand pitchers, is like 60-30 this year.
Huh.
Crazy. Yeah, they score a lot of runs. Yeah. That's why all their overs are high. But yeah, that's the rundown. I appreciate you working today.
All right. Yeah, appreciate it, man. Thanks.
All right.
Okay, let's see. So this website is daily baseball data for the umpire assignments, but this is rare where they're all filled in before the start of the day. Unless it's gotten better as the season's gone on. It has been a while since we looked at this. But this Fairchild guy, I noticed his name's 86 like Kansas City. Royals is 86. 52, 56. Indians on 56 wins. Ed Hickox, St. Louis, Cincinnati. Cooks. 92 like Cincinnati Reds. Again, the manager for St. Louis is going for his 92nd win today. All right. I'm going to analyze this today when the games are over, because I'm not used to making calls off it, but maybe that could be a golden ticket. So okay. So where were we at? Let's see. Phillies and Pirates. So the Phillies just traded for Smiley from the Rangers. He's 1-5 on the season, struggling so far. He's going up against Agrizal, who doesn't have a lot of experience. Kapler, the manager for the Phillies, is at 130 losses. Pittsburgh is 130. So perhaps he doesn't lose again in the series. Doesn't have to be that way. I know for a fact, going off that with manager records, doesn't mean it has to be that way. It's possible. But what the Phillies do have going today is they can pick up that 22nd a win on the 22 date numerology. And the date numerology, it hit in the majority of instances yesterday where it could. It missed in the Yankees game and the Red Sox game and the Mariners game, but all the other ones came through. So I'm thinking that Phillies picking up the 22nd away win on the 22 date is most likely here. Pittsburgh is 7-8 versus the NL East as well. So if they lost, they'd be 7-9. PNC Park 79. Philadelphia 79. 79 is the 22nd prime, 22 date. The only other thing to consider is that Pirates does equal 88, but the 79 on the 22 date, the Phillies getting the 22nd win, I think that's more likely. So Pittsburgh's line is 130. What's Drew Smiley going to do in his debut? Let me double check the stats here. Pirates versus the NL East, that's right. They're on 36 wins, 46 losses. Hold on. This isn't a typo. Let me double check that. Oh, no, it was right. It was right. I messed it up. All right, so Pittsburgh is on 47 losses versus the NL. It is the lesser date numerology of 47, but I still like the Phillies getting those 22 riddles. So, okay. The Rangers and the Astros. Let me make sure the Rangers don't have. Let me make sure they don't have a 126 connection. 13-5, but this isn't. Astros. Okay. So the Astros got this guy who's making his first MLB start. And if the Astros lost today, they would be 10-7 versus the Rangers this year. Rangers is 107. The Rangers' next win is number 51. Again, Houston Astros is 51. Be the perfect opponent to get it against. The Rangers, what could go against them is staying at 22 wins versus the AL West on the 22 date. And let me check something. Yeah, okay. I thought so. That's a typo there. All right. The Rangers are at 42 wins versus the American League. So their next is 43, and Astros is 43. They have 39 losses. It's a 40-day. Am I looking? Yeah, no, I'm looking at the right thing. Huh. Guess I just typed in the wrong thing there. Okay. But there's a couple reasons to believe that the Rangers could win. Perfect team to get the 43rd win against in the AL. Perfect team to get the 51st win against of the season. There's nothing real clear in the pitchers. Caller?
Hey, Zach. How you doing, Zach?
Doing well. How are you?
Hey, Zach. Man, why is that dude keep calling you, man? Try to mess with you, man. Try to mess with your intelligence, man. He can't mess with you, Jack. He cannot mess with you, man.
Who's that?
That dude that called, remember, try to make you look bad, remember?
Oh, you mean yesterday? Yesterday.
Yeah, he was like a control. He was like a control problem.
Yeah, I don't know. I actually apologized to him after the show for being mean to him on the show, but I didn't like what he called in and said either. So.
Okay. Besides that, thank you for yesterday. The Cubs did one. Thanks, Zach. Zach, you right. The Cubs was right. They were good. It was a good game too, man.
Close game.
Oh yeah, I love close games sometimes. Though I mean, all depends. But I won $40 in the game though.
Well, I'm happy to hear that. Yeah.
Well, I just joined you a few minutes ago. I just woke up and you talking about the Cleveland game that they're gonna win today? Cleveland ain't gonna win, or you got to it yet?
Okay, so that Cleveland game's dangerous to me today. Yesterday, Cleveland picked up their 21st loss at home on the 21 date numerology. Today has 22 date numerology, so if it followed the same pattern, the Indians could lose again. You can make an argument for the pitchers either way, but the narrative for the Indians to win is to get their 32nd home win because Kansas City's 32. So I'd rate that game as pretty dangerous. However, Kansas City does have three things that could go their way with regards to the date. So again, Indians can get their 22nd home loss on the 22 day. Kansas City could get their 22nd win versus the AL Central on the 22 day. And Cleveland could also get their 19th loss versus the AL Central. Today also has 67 date numerology, the 19th prime. So the date numerology looks really good for the Royals. But the Indians, just the fact they can get that 32nd win in Kansas City's 32 makes it a little bit iffy. So I might take a chance on the Royals. I wouldn't bet a lot on them just because they're a nice payout today if they upset. They do have some numbers to get it done. So
okay, Zach. Before I go, Zach, the early game, which one is the one you think are going to win today? What do you think? The one is the easy pick today.
Well, so far I haven't gone on over any game that I would say is an easy pick. I like the Rays though today out of these morning, but God, they're just such a big favorite. They don't pay anything, so they look like the most likely team to win out of the morning games. But just because their line is just so heavy their way, I don't even know if it's worth the bet. But I'm still going over some games. I think there's some games later today that are a little bit better. So.
Okay, no problem, Zach. And enjoy your show, Zach. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, man.
All right.
Again, today, when the games are over today, I'm going to really look at the umpire thing and see how the numbers from these umpires played into the games. Maybe it's just baseball's just got so many things you got to analyze, but yeah, I'm going to look at the umpire today. For example, in that Yankees game, how interesting that the umpire equals 39, the big New York number, and the Yankees are going for their 39th home win. So remember that if that happens. Again, Orioles had numbers today, but man, they don't play well on Sunday. They typically play well on Saturday, and they got beat down yesterday, so maybe this weekend will be different. But again, Cashner's making his debut against his old team who he just got traded from. If he loses, he'll be 9-5. Baltimore's 95. He'll be 9-5 for the year, that is. Okay. Where was I at? Phillies, Pirates. We did that. Rangers, Astros. We did that. Hey, man.
Happy birthday, big guy.
Thank you. How are you?
Good, partner. Real quick, just a suggestion, especially for the early games. Maybe you should go through all your thought processes first, do the whole games, and then people call in after that, just so you can stay tuned, because your mind, you get distracted by a lot of calls. So You know, hopefully, maybe that would help you. Just a suggestion.
Sure.
Real quick. Did you like the Yankees today and the Mets to lose?
I like the Mets to lose today. I do. The Mets pitcher can fall to 5-7, that big Mets number, and then their record will be perfect.
This guy Matz, he's from Long Island. Okay.
And I know you're saying the Yankees typically win, the Mets typically lose, or vice versa. What we saw about the Yankees is my concern for the Yankees today is that they don't get past 38, just because that number sticks with Colorado so much. They're on 38 home wins.
Gotcha.
But if they do win, they get the big New York number. They get the 39th home win in New York, and they get their 65th win of the season. New York Yankees 65. And
so it's conflicting there, yeah. Gotcha.
But the Yankees are having the Hall of Fame weekend too, so I'm wondering if it could be all about that.
Okay.
They'd stay at 33 losses as well. They'd stay at 33 losses in New York 33. So.
All right, good read. And the Dodgers, they're at -320 over the Marlins. Did you do that one yet?
Well, 3 days in a row, the line's over 300. Here, I got to tell you one more thing about the Rockies-Yankees game. Marquez, the pitcher for the Rockies, he's the guy. If the Rockies win, Marquez is going to get the W today, because his next career wins is 35th. Yankees does equal 35, and today is 149 days after his birthday, the 35th prime. So I'd probably stay away from the Yankees game. They don't pay enough with their line. If I was going to bet that game, I might use the Rockies as like a parlay multiplier, but I got to find some other good games here. So
yeah, because when I was looking at the Yankees, the Dodgers, and the Giants, I think $70 pays 180 on my site. But I guess I could throw, just to cover my butt, throw the Rockies in there, and that would really multiply it a lot. You know?
Marquez has the riddle to get the 35th career win. It's just there's been a number of times this year where a pitcher has a perfect alignment like that and it doesn't come through. But I mean, It is there today, so can't deny it.
All right, I'll let you get back to it, brother. Get through this quick and go enjoy your family, brother.
All right, thanks,
Bless
man.
you. Keep it up, kid.
All right, take care.
Ciao, ciao.
Caller? Oh, I don't know. Sorry, maybe I switched over too late. But hold on. I was at the Rangers and the Astros. We were just going through that game. The Rangers, again, if the Rangers get the upset here, they'll have 51 home wins. Or not 51 home wins. They'll have 51 wins. Houston Astros 51, and they'll have 43 wins versus the AL. Astros 43. The one thing they could go against them, though, is picking up that 40th loss in the AL on the lesser date numerology of 40. And you know what else is 40? Actually, Houston's 40 if you use the rule for S. So if the Astros lose, though, they're 10-7 versus the Rangers this year. Rangers 107. So Rangers, the line's actually not that big for the Astros because they got the new guy going. Mangden for the Athletics with a loss today would fall to 5-2. Minnesota's 52. 67 date as well. 19th prime. He can get his 19th career loss. So two things going against Mangden. And Pineda, I don't think there's anything there really with his record. Going to be his 93rd decision, possibly. The Twins are 2-4 versus the A's this year. If they win, they'd be 3-4. Athletics is 34. Caller?
Hey, Zach, I'm sorry to call you back. Happy birthday, man.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Hey, matter of fact, my mom's birthday, same day yours, June 21st. I forgot. My mom's birthday, same as yours.
Well, good day to have a birthday. That's nice.
Oh, yeah. Well, I like you, man. You're all right, man. And you have a nice day, Zach.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, man.
You guys see YouTube's birthday present for me? They suspended my main channel for no reason. 67 date numerology, 19th prime. The Twins can get the 19th win versus the AL West. And Oakland, if they don't win, they'll stay on 52 wins versus Minnesota. So I like the Twins today. I think the Twins got riddles. Mangden's record makes a lot of sense with a loss today. Pineda, there's nothing there, not a big deal. Well, it's a lesser date numerology of 47. That can go either way, so that's null. But the Twins getting to 3-4 versus the A's makes a lot of sense. Actually, I gotta lay devil's advocate on one thing there. If A's won, they would be 5-2 versus Minnesota. So there is one thing there for Minnesota. But I like this 19th win versus the AL West. Today's the right day for it. And Oakland staying at 52 wins versus Minnesota makes a lot of sense. It's also a 40 date as well. They can get their 40th loss versus the AL. So I like Minnesota here. That looks pretty good to me. The Padres and the Cubs. We got a guy making his debut for the Padres. And let me think about it. Cubs are going for their 37th home win. Got the lesser 47 date. Okay. If the Cubs win this game, they will sweep the Padres, won't they? They'd keep the Padres on 23 away wins. Sweeps 23. Look at that. 2 days in a row, 6-5, 6-5. What could that be about? Padres have a connection to that number? Yeah, San Diego Padres 65. There you go. So they beat them 6-5 2 days in a row. Whoops. All right, so they could sweep them today. Then they got the Giants on the road next. But the Padres, who do they play next? Padres got the Mets next, at the Mets. Could make sense there. If they could get 2 wins against, well, they need 2 more wins to get to 48 on New York number. Mets is 24. I know Mets is 24, so their next away win is 24. They could get that against the Mets. Or they could go in with it. Padres next away win is 24. Mets equals 24. Who they play next? If Padres get swept, they'll stay on 23 away wins. Cubs equals 9, by the way. 23 the 9th prime. Sweep equals 23. 23 9th prime. Cubs equals 9. Hendricks. Let me look at Hendricks splits versus the Padres here. Could be a big one. All right, splits, Padres. 5-1 versus the Padres. Double check that here. Whoops. Padres 5-1. 5-1. San Diego Cubs. Yeah, I don't see the big clue with that. Let's check his record at Wrigley. But he has pitched well against the Padres. 5-1 with a 3 ERA. It's a third. How many? 50 innings. So he has a good track record against them. And let's see. He's 30-17 at Wrigley. That doesn't. What was the line on this game? Chicago's a pretty big favorite. Hendricks is 5-1 versus Padres. The only thing I really see possibly going for the Padres is just getting that 24th away win to go into the Mets series, but I'm kind of liking them getting swept and staying on 23, getting 23 the 9th prime, Cubs 9, pick up that 24th against the Mets, Mets 24. So not a whole lot to go off of there, but that looks like the best riddle to me. Okay, I do like the Mets to lose today. Mott's can become 5-7. Every single Mets game against the Giants had the 57 come up with the pitcher. 3 in a row, 3 days in a row. Again, if the Mets lose, they will be 38-50 versus the NL. Giants 38, San Francisco 50. I like that riddle a lot. And also Callaway. He's at 122 wins. He got it yesterday. We thought he would. San Francisco's 122, so he can sit there with that as well. Both teams are on the 22 that go against either team. San Francisco wins, they'll be 50-50 as well. And in San Francisco's 50. Remember, they hosted Super Bowl 50 with the Giants. W. They'll be 50-50. San Francisco equals 50. Okay. They were just 49-49 too, and other big numbers in that city. It looks like Lowry's going to end up winning this thing unless he really drops it off at the end. But I hope a lot of you guys had him in your top 10. I was thinking he wouldn't finish in first, but I liked him to finish in the top 10. He was right there neck and neck in the Canadian Open. We had him there in that one too. To look at golf here when we're done. See what else is going on. All right, this Yamamoto has not lost yet. This is going to be his toughest test yet on the road against the Dodgers. If he loses, he's 4-1. LA's 41. If Walker Buehler wins, he's 9-1. 91, the 13th triangular number. LA 13. Dodgers can get the 40th home win on the 40-date numerology. And the 67th win on the 67 date. Dodgers yesterday had the 66 and 39 date numerology going for them. So it looks like they're following that track. And yeah, 3 days in a row, the lines have been like that. The whole time there's been a possibility that the Marlins could pull out one game here to get to 37 because Los Angeles is 37. Also, if the Dodgers lost one, they'd get their 36th loss. Miami's 36. So there's a chance the Marlins could upset, but the last 2 days, they had better riddles than they have today. And I remember this happening to me earlier this year it was a Blue Jays series. The Blue Jays had a decent riddle in game 1 to get a big upset. They had a massive line against them. They didn't. Game 2, they had a decent riddle. And another big line, they didn't get it. And then game 3, big line against them, and they didn't really have much of a riddle at all. And then they won that game. And I was like, really? I like the Blue Jays to win one in that series. I said that from the beginning. They blow it with the 2 good riddles, and then they win on the day at the end of the series where they don't really have a riddle. So it would give me deja vu if the Marlins won this Dodgers series. It would be just like that Blue Jays series, which is probably at least a month ago, but I still remember it like it was yesterday. Some of you might remember it too. Because I was like, I think the Blue Jays are worth a shot today. I think they're worth a shot today. And then on day 3, I was like, well, I don't know. Today doesn't look right. But then they won it. So a lot does line up for the Dodgers here, though. A lot, and so that's the difference between that Blue Jays game. I just remember that last game, just there not being much there. A lot lines up for the Dodgers today, so I'll say that. There still is that chance the Marlins sneak out one. Again, lines like this have not been good for underdogs, though. All right, Brewers and Diamondbacks. Brewers got it done yesterday. Today, the Diamondbacks, if they won, they'd get that 22nd home win on the 22 date. To me, the date numerology on the 20 path was encouraging yesterday. It didn't come through in the Orioles game, which I really, really would have liked it to have, but it mostly came through. So I'm thinking it's mostly going to come through today as well. And My only concern about the Diamondbacks is they're already at 37 wins against Milwaukee. Eventually, they'll get off that number. We just see a lot of series end in a season, and it ends on a number that's significant. So the Diamondbacks have 37 wins and 40 losses at home against Milwaukee. Milwaukee's 37, but today's date numerology is 40 as well. So Brewers can fall to 2-2 versus the Diamondbacks as well on the 22 date, and the Diamondbacks can get their 22nd home win. Milwaukee's next loss versus the NL. Let me make sure I counted this right. I know some of my counting's been off today. All right, 20. Yeah, that's right there. 41 losses. So Milwaukee's next loss is 42. Arizona's 42. Diamondbacks is 42. So perfect team to get the 42nd loss against in the NL. And Diamondbacks could improve to 11-9. But yeah, I like the Diamondbacks here. The 22 goes in their favor. 22nd home win on the 22 date. Make the series 2-2. Milwaukee gets the 42nd loss. I guess this young pitcher could get to 4-0, couldn't he, on the 40 date? So Woodruff has pitched well this year. I guess if he lost, he'd be 16-7. 167 is the 39th prime. Arizona's 39. So I'm going to take the Diamondbacks with the date numerology. The Angels with a win today, they will get their 52nd win. Mariners equals 52. They'd stay at 26 away losses through 101 games, 101 the 26th prime. Hold on, we got a caller here. Caller? Caller?
Is this Zachary?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Zachary. It's Barbara from New Jersey.
Hello.
I wanted to apologize. I noticed your page got shut down after I put that information up there.
What information?
You didn't get that message that about the guy from NASA who was harassing me on my LinkedIn professional page. They were all coming at me on my LinkedIn professional page about 7 years ago.
Oh, I didn't see that comment. Barbara, I'm doing my daily live stream on my Patreon. Can I call you back later?
Absolutely. Do you have the number?
I do. So I will call you back. All right.
Thanks, Zach. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good day.
Take care. Bye.
Bye. Okay. So anyhow, the Mariners, they squandered a good riddle yesterday, but we did see this possibility of the Angels taking the final two as well, so it's not shocking. Caller?
Hey, Zach.
Uh-huh.
The Mariners, they have a player, Edgar Martinez.
Yeah, Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he has the Hall of Fame induction today, and the big thing they're saying is it took him 10 tries, so he got it on his 11th try, and the Mariners can get their 31st home loss.
31-11, I see. Yeah, that's a good point. That
was the big thing. They also said that I think he played 18 years for the Mariners, and they have 61 losses, but the Mariners play like shit at home, so.
They really do. Seattle Mariners is 62 as well, so.
Oh yeah, perfect. I'm on the Angels big today.
Okay.
All
right. Take care, man. So the only riddle going for the Mariners today is Yusei Kikuchi. If he won, he'd be 5-6. Mariners is 56. So that's the Mariners' narrative, is through their pitcher. But the Angels getting that 52nd win, Mariners 52, and staying on 26 away losses through 101 games. That's got some rhyme and reason to it. If the Mariners lost today, they'd be 37-55 versus the AL. Los Angeles is 37-55. If the Angels won, they'd get their 43rd win versus the AL. Mariners is 43. So there's quite a bit more that looks good for the Angels than the Mariners. The Mariners just have this one thing going, Kikuchi. And today is a 47 date. Seattle is on the 47th parallel. It's another big number with the city. So him being 4 and 7 wouldn't be any shocker either. What was the score of yesterday's game? Yesterday was the 666th game between these two teams. 6-2. And again, Seattle Mariners is 62. Stayed on 26. Wasn't there something about 62 and Tyler Skaggs too? What was it about his death in 62? Maybe I'm making that up. LA Angels is 26 as well. Maybe there wasn't anything about 62. All right. The Rockies are up on the Yankees early. Remember the pitcher for the Rockies, he has the narrative to get the win today. That would keep the Yankees at 38. So that big Colorado number. In case you got here late, the Rockies pitcher, it's 149 days after his birthday, the 35th prime. He's going for his 35th career win. Yankees equals 35. Okay. All right. This Nationals and Braves game, the Braves can get their 22nd home loss on the 22 date. Braves equals 22. The Nationals pitcher, Joe Ross, 17 and 16, 0 and 1 for the season. Gossman for the Braves, he has a chance at his 47th win on the lesser 47 date. As we know, DC's 47. I noticed something about Gossman that I didn't notice before. It's his 197th day of his age, if you count it that way. 45th prime. Nats on 45 losses. Wait, this was yesterday's note. Whoops, I forgot to take that out. The Braves had two things going against them yesterday with the date numerology. They got that 167th home loss, the 39th prime on the 39 date as well. Braves are 3 and 5 versus Nationals, 1 and 4 at home. All I could say about that is Atlanta Braves equals 89, 24th prime. Could improve to 2 and 4 at home. Let's go back and look at the games in this series too real quick here. This is the Sunday Night Baseball. All right, so they won 5-3 yesterday. And they beat their ace too. 3-4 the day before. So 8-7's the scoring. Double check this. The Nationals 34-44 wins. $44 wins, 41 losses. 41-55 wins. They could get their 40th loss in the NL. All right. Braves are 55 and 39 versus NL 40 date. So they actually have multiple date numerology things going against them today too. Oops. Okay. Yeah, the only thing I could say for the Braves is just their pitcher. He has a chance that 47th win. I actually haven't noticed 47 be a number that plays a lot with the Nationals. You think it would because DC is such a big 47 city, but today does have the lesser date numerology of 47. But again, you got the date numerology going against the Braves in two ways, and I think the date numerology, I think it might be getting on here, so... All right, let's run over it again. The Rockies, their narrative to win today, they're up early, is through their pitcher, Marquez. He can get his 35th win. Yankees equals 35. It's 149 days after his birthday, the 35th prime. The narrative going against the Rockies would be that if they lost, they'd be 7-9 versus the American League. 79 is the 22nd prime. It's the 22nd game between these two teams. If the Yankees did lose, they'd be 8-3 at home versus Colorado. Colorado's 83 too. That was one other thing going for the Rockies today. All right, Red Sox and Orioles. Orioles have not played well on Sunday, but they lost yesterday on Saturday, and it looks like they just took the lead. So what we said is maybe this weekend will be a reversal. The Orioles did have numbers to win today. Boston with a loss would get their 41st loss versus the American League. Baltimore's 41. Orioles could become 3-9 or 4-8 versus Boston. Orioles is 39-48. The Orioles do win, they'll get their 31st win. Boston's 31. They could stay at 67 losses on the 67 date. Cashner, who's making his debut against his old team, who's already given up a run in the first inning, if he loses, he'll be 9-5 on the season. Baltimore's 95. So the Orioles pitcher's looking for his first win. If he won, he'd be 1-3 on the season. His first win this year, I should say. Baltimore's 41, 13th prime. So maybe Baltimore's going to do a reversal this weekend, play better on Sunday, because they definitely didn't play well yesterday. The White Sox are looking like they're going to jump out here on the Rays in the first inning. We'll see. Runners on. Oh, yeah. Stole second and third. Wow. All right. No outs, runners on second, third. It looks like the White Sox are going to get up early. A lot of game left. If the White Sox lose, they'll pick up their 52nd loss. Tampa Bay raises 52. And if the Rays win, they'll get their 39th home win versus the White Sox. White Sox is 39. Rays would also improve to 4-2 with a win. White Sox 42. So White Sox can get their 47th loss versus the AL today as well. 47 date and Tampa Bay's 47. So even if the White Sox jump out early here, I'm still going to like the Rays. They got a lot more going their way today. Okay, the Royals and Indians. Royals have a narrative to upset. They can give the Indians their 22nd home loss on the 22 date. Kansas City can get their 22nd win in the AL Central as well with a 20 on the 22 date. Cleveland could get their 19th loss versus the AL Central. Today has 67 date numerology, the 19th prime. The one narrative for the Indians, I should make this here. The one narrative for the Indians is if they win, they get their 32nd home win. Kansas City's 32. But you got the date numerology going three ways in favor of the Royals. The Blue Jays are on top of the Tigers with a chance to sweep. If they sweep today, they'll get their 39th win. Tigers is 39. If the Blue Jays win, they'll also get their 37th win in the AL. Detroit's 37. The narrative for the Tigers today is to give the Blue Jays their 33rd away loss. Tigers 33, Sunday 33. The Cardinals and the Reds. If the Cardinals manager wins, he'll get his 92nd career win. Cincinnati Reds is 92. If the Cardinals win, they get their 51st win of the season. Cincinnati's 51. If the Reds lose, they stay at 25 home wins, St. Louis 25. The Reds with a loss would also fall to 4-7 today versus the Cardinals. 47 date numerology. St. Louis is 47. Ohio's 47. The one thing that could go against the Cards is their pitcher, Flaherty, with a loss. He could also fall to 4-7, but seems like more lines up for the Cardinals than the Reds here. The pitcher's the one concern. The Phillies and the Pirates. The Phillies just got Drew Smyly from the Rangers. Not exactly sure why they would trade for him, but I guess he's been okay in the past. Anyway, he's making his debut with the Phillies. If the Phillies win today, they get their 22nd away win on the 22-date numerology. Pittsburgh would also fall to 7-9 versus the National League East. Kind of like 79, the 22nd prime. PNC Park equals 79. Philadelphia against 79, the 22nd prime. So the 22 pattern can make a lot of sense with the Phillies win. The only thing I could say for the Pirates is that if they won against the NL East, they'd be 8-8. Pirates is 88, but I like the 79 more on the 22-day. The Rangers and the Astros. Rangers have a chance to upset here. They can get their 51st win of the season. Houston Astros 51. They can get their 43rd win versus the AL. Astros 43. The one thing that could go against them is picking up the 40th loss on the 40-date numerology. Houston's also 40. If the Rangers do win, the Astros will fall to 10-7 versus the Rangers this year. Rangers 107. The Athletics and the Twins, Mengden with a loss would pick up his 19th career loss. Today has 67-date numerology, 19th prime. He'd also fall to 5-2 on the season. Minnesota 52. And if the Twins win today, they'll be 3-4 versus the A's. Athletics 34. If the A's won, they would be 5-2 versus Minnesota. Minnesota is 52. So that's your one A's narrative. But the Twins got, I like the numbers go pretty hard against Mengden, the A's pitcher. And if the Twins win, they'll get their 19th win in the AL West on the 67 date, the 19th prime. Oakland would also be stuck at 52 wins, Minnesota 52. They pick up their 40th loss versus the AL on the 40 date. So I think the Twins have quite a bit better riddle there. The Padres and the Cubs, if the Padres get swept, they'll stay at 23 away wins. Sweep is 23. 23 is the 9th prime. Cubs equals 9. The Padres' next away win will be 24. They face the Mets next. Mets is 24. It'd be a good team to get that win against. Cubs can also get the 47th win versus the NL on the 47 date. I got to document, though, their next loss versus the NL is 38 and San Diego's 38. So that's possible. If the Padres won, they'd go into that Mets series on 24 away wins. That's just the one question. That's what makes it tricky, because sometimes they're one-off, sometimes they go in on the number. But they are sitting on 23, that sweep number, and they're one game away from being swept. So the Mets and Giants, I do like the Mets to lose today because their pitcher can fall to 5-7, and we know about the Mets in 57. Also, if the Mets lose, they'll be 38-50 versus the National League. Giants 38, San Francisco 50. I wish the Giants kept in the pitcher, though, that they had in there yesterday, because his record made perfect sense with the win today. So they switched that up, but still, the 38-50 and the 5-7 thing, I'm going to ride with that. Giants will be 50-50 with a win. San Francisco's 50. A nice San Francisco record. Dodgers, for the third day in a row, got a line of 300. Again, that has not been a good sign for underdogs. Dodgers can get a double-date numerology thing going with a win. 67th win on the 67 date, 40th win on the 40 date. The narrative for the Marlins to upset is to pick up the 37th win. Los Angeles is 37, and to give the Dodgers their 36th loss because Miami's 36. But notice the Marlins can also get their 47th loss versus the NL today on a 47 date. So far, the lesser date numerology is the path they've followed in the NL for this series. The Brewers and the Diamondbacks, I'm going to take the Diamondbacks today. They can get their 22nd home win on the 22 dates. They can give the Brewers their 42nd loss versus the NL. Arizona's 42, Diamondbacks 42. And with a D-backs win, they'd even up the series 2-2 versus the Brewers this year. So the Angels and the Mariners. The Mariners have one riddle to win. It's through the pitcher, Kikuchi. If he wins, he's 5-6. Mariners is 56. If he loses, he's 4-7 on the 47 date on the 47th parallel in Seattle. The Angels win today. They'll get their 43rd win versus the AL. Mariners is 43. If the Mariners lose today, they'll be 37-55 versus the AL. Los Angeles is 37-55. And if the Angels win, they'll stay at 26 away losses through 101 games, 101 the 26th prime. The Nationals and the Braves. The Braves can pick up the 22nd home loss on the 22 date. Braves equals 22. The Braves could also get their 40th loss versus the NL on the 40 date. And the pitchers, if the Braves were to win this game, it would have to be through their pitcher Gausman. He can get the 47th win on the 47 date. Lesser date numerology of 47. And something else that's interesting about him and the managers, it's 277 days after the manager's birthday, which is the 59th prime. His pitcher is on 59 losses. Let me actually look more at the splits with these two guys and see what they've done against each other. Just make sure there's not something else here. But the date numerology does go against the Braves twice. The Nationals are playing really well for going on the last 2 or 3 weeks. Let me see here. All right. Whoops. Nationals. All right, he's 4-2 versus the Nationals. He does double check Braves. Nationals is 42, so okay, I guess that makes some sense. And whoops, wrong thing. And SunTrust Park. He's 4-2 at SunTrust Park. Okay. Let me check. What's that SunTrust Park again? 4-2. 45 SunTrust Park. That came up. So if the Nationals didn't lose, they'd stay on 45 losses at SunTrust Park. Let me check who these teams play again next. Nationals, Braves, and then they got the Rockies at home. Rockies is 46. They could get that 46th loss against the Rockies. What else is there about that? 26-20. Nationals, Braves, Royals. They play the Royals next. Kansas City Royals is 59. So if they didn't win, they'd go into that series on 59. So that'd be perfect to go into that on 59 wins. That their next game's on a date with a life lesson number of 42. They could already be on 42 losses going into that game. But yeah, the date numerology stacks against the Braves in 2 ways. So I'm gonna roll with the date numerology today. I got a feeling it's gonna be back on. And yeah, let me get the review video up here before this group of games starts here at the 11 o'clock slot. Royals are up on the Indians. Indians, if they lose today, will pick up that 22. Wow, the Rays didn't give up any runs? How do you not give up any runs with runners on second and third with no outs? I've seen that happen too many times in baseball this year. Oh, my God. I mean, it's unheard of. All right, you guys, I am going to get up the review video real fast because I think there's some decent games in the afternoon. I want people to get a look at these, and hopefully we can have a good day here. Sunday is a tough day as the day patterns break, but let's see. Let's see what happens. So, yeah, stay tuned. I'm going to get that video up. And, oh, hold on. Before we go, let's take a look at golf real quick. Hold on. So we know what's up with Lowry. Again, Lowry's 93. It was his 93rd tournament. S. Lowry's 112. We identified how 112 has been a huge number with the tournament, with winners. Last year's winner won it 112 days from his birthday. Shane Lowry's 50, like open. The only thing was, yeah, it looks like he's won this thing. Is it over? Did he already win? It looks like he did. Yeah, he won. So now he has 2 wins. I guess the thing about 2 is 2 equals 58, like open. And it's 23 like open. Okay. Because what I saw before the tournament was that if he placed in the top 10, he'd have 1 win and 12 top 10s. But anyway, I'm hoping quite a few of you guys had him ranked for your top 10 because I know that even paid well, but damn, he won the whole thing. So, okay. Finau had the numbers. Finau had what was it, the last name? I forget what else. What was it about Finau? Was it his name? Am I confusing him with Fowler? Hold on. Where's my notes at? Let me pull up my notes. I swear Finau had something. Finau. Maybe I'm thinking of Fowler. Oh, that's what it was for Finau. The tournament began 307 days after his birthday, the 63rd prime, British Open 63, Ireland 63, T Finau 71, like Royal Portrush. So that's what he had going on. So he had a nice birthday alignment and the right name for the course. Fleetwood, hold on. Fleetwood. What did he have going? Fleetwood, his name is like United Kingdom. I didn't see what it was with his birthday. This was his 55th event. He was ranked up there. Where was he at? 25-1. But yeah, his numbers, all he had was the United Kingdom connection. I guess that was enough. Okay. Finau had the nice birthday. Lee Westwood. Let's see. 2 wins, 44 top 10s. Yeah. Westwood. His numbers actually weren't that interesting to me. Koepka, we saw what Koepka had. He was ranked as one of the favorites. Koepka's definitely played well this year at major events. So the tournament ended 79 days after his birthday, 22nd prime, golf 22. I don't know about this Robert McIntyre. Let me see real quick. McIntyre. Robert McIntyre. Whoops. 93. Oh, R. McIntyre, 63, like British Open. So that's what he had going on. Scorecard name. Tyrell Hatton. Ah, my guy. Hatton. The top 10s. 277 days. Yeah, I don't know. His numbers. I don't know. His numbers aren't that interesting either. Will it? Will it? Yeah, I don't see his numbers either. Let's see. Fowler. I know Fowler had something going on. This was Fowler's 233rd event, the 13th Fibonacci, opens 13. This article, we talked about how it ranked him the 13th most likely to win. Fowler's name's 71, like Royal Portrush. His name's also 83, like the Open Championship. Some of these guys who I just skipped, maybe they got birthday alignments to look at him more. And Patrick Reed. Stenson was right there. He must have fallen off at the end. Stenson had such a nice alignment. Oh, for Reed, this was his 199th event, and the tournament began on the 199th day of the year. Reed equals 23 like Open. So he had the tournament total alignment with the event. Stenson. I thought Stenson would be in the top 10. Man, he fell off at the end. It's too bad. John Rahm just barely missed 2. But we did identify Lowry. He was one of those long shots. What was his odds again? He was somewhere around 100 to 1. I just thought he'd finish top 10, not win it. Uh, 80 to 1 was Lowry. Whew. I wanted to see Stenson finish up there. But it's okay. It's not bad. Some of these guys who we identified, Lowry, Finau, Koepka, Fowler, Reed. I imagine some of you guys played at least one of these names. So I really thought old Stenson was going to be there. When I checked it this morning, he was in the top 10. He fell off. Just barely. Caller?
Hey, Zach. The golf. Yeah, Lowry, top 10. A smart way to bet the golf is like in the beginning when the odds are big, and like I did yesterday. You had Lowry, and he was leading yesterday. He was leading by about 5 or 6 strokes, and the live betting, they had him at plus 175. So I said, I jumped on that. So if you're going to bet the golf, if you're going to pass on the long shots at the beginning of the tournament and the day before, because you already know who is in the lead, and you're betting on plus money and someone's in the lead, and you call them for them to finish in the top 10. So I said, I'm jumping on Laurie, and I did, and I won. Thanks, back.
Well, you're welcome. Good work, man. Smart strategy.
All right, that's all I got.
All right, take care. Yeah. Tommy Fleetwood. What day is his birthday? All right, that was probably in my decode. January 19th. Who's this Robert McIntyre? I just got to know more about him. Who is he? We saw that he had the initial for oh, look at his birthday, man. August 3rd. So we saw that R. McIntyre was 63 like British Open, then his birthday is 8-3, like the Open Championship 83. The day one leader was 83 days after his birthday. So okay. He had the name and the right birthday, I see. I got to find some sort of database where I can just like, what would be nice is if you just had like every PGA golfer, and because once you identify the key numbers, it'd be like, okay, I want to look through every birthday that's August 3rd, March 8th, 83rd day of the year, etc., and just pull up all those PGA guys. If we had something like that, it would make it real easy to pull out these long shots too. All right, but it wasn't bad. I'm feeling disappointed about my man, Henrik Stenson, though. I thought he'd be top 10. I wanted to see him up there. Close but no cigar. Okay. Okie dokie. So, all right, I'm going to get up the review video for baseball. I think there's some decent games up there today. But again, remember, it is Sunday. Sunday's the day where patterns break, so still use caution. If you see the 22s come through today, you know tomorrow's going to be good because that means the 23s are going to be coming through. And we know 23 is already strong with baseball because 23 is the 9th prime, 9 big baseball number. So cheer for those 22s for today because if it comes through, 23s are going to be rolling tomorrow. We'll leave it there and see you tomorrow morning.